The night air hangs heavy, cooler than it should be, as Amanda gazes out her window. Streetlights fracture the darkness, shadows flickering like ghosts in the rain-soaked streets. Her heartbeat pounds loud in her ears, each thump echoing the chaos within. How did everything slip so far, so fast? Beneath that thin curtain, the city hums softly, distant but deafening. What secrets lie buried under the veneer of her life? Is this crack in her foundation just the start? Something darker waiting to surface? That fragile line between holding on and letting go feels razor-thin now. Her hands tremble as thoughts spiral, about betrayal, about hope, about fighting to keep the pieces together. And amid the storm, a question lingers. When the darkness closes in, how much strength is enough to withstand it all? How much more can she take before the shadows consume her entirely? In the quiet aftermath, Amanda steels herself. The fight in her reignited. Her story isn't over yet. She's not just surviving. She's fighting for something more. For love. For her children. For herself. Because sometimes resilience blooms in the most unexpected cracks of darkness. Amanda watched her kids settle in after a long day, the faint glow of the bedside lamp casting soft shadows on their faces. The rain tapped gently against the window, a soothing rhythm that momentarily masked the chaos of her thoughts. As she tucked Jack under his blanket, she noticed his hands trembling slightly, as if holding a secret too heavy for his small frame. Her heartbeat quickened when she saw his sketchbook open on his lap, filled with frantic drawings. She leaned in closer, her breath catching. The drawings weren't just playful fantasies. They were detailed plans, the kind a child shouldn't have to make, escaping their current life, fleeing a world that felt unstable, even dangerous. Her stomach clenched as realization hit. Jack's fears, so unspoken, suddenly screaming through ink on paper. Before she could say a word, Emma burst into the room with her usual exuberance, her laughter piercing the silence. Still, Amanda's gaze stayed fixed on Jack, knowing the story she believed was about to shift forever. The room felt suddenly heavier, the peaceful night now a battleground of secrets and what-ifs. Sometimes the truth arrives softly, like rain on a quiet street, and sometimes it crashes through your calm, demanding to be heard. And this night was no different. In the dim light of their tiny kitchen, Amanda stacks the last few boxes, her hands trembling, the weight of everything pressuring down. Outside, the rain starts to fall, heavy and unrelenting, mixing with the scent of wet earth and leftover fears. Shadows creep across the walls, as if they're trying to seep in through the cracks of her resolve. Her eyes flick to a crumpled photo, her children smiling bright, innocence captured in a moment that feels like a distant dream now. She whispers softly to herself, "Just a little longer." Suddenly, a faint knock breaks the silence, gentle but urgent. Her heart pounds. Who's at the door? Just as everything begins to slip away, her mind races. Will she face this unknown or hide in the storm that's raging inside her? The door inches open. Who will step inside now, threatening to change everything, just when she thought she was at her breaking point? The room falls silent. Amanda's breath catches, an almost imperceptible pause. Then it's gone. Stephen's grin is confident, but behind it, her eyes catch a flicker of something darker, like a storm brewing beneath the surface. Melissa fidgets, her foot tapping in nervous beat. Ethan's giggle tries to cut through the tension, but it's swallowed by unspoken truths hanging heavy in the air. What secrets lurk just beyond the surface? Will the fragile calm shatter with the next word? Amanda's hand trembles on the edge of history, her mind racing. Her voice thick with unspoken fears, she wonders, is this the wake-up call she's been dreading? Or can this chaos somehow become a new beginning? The landscape of their lives, once so stable, now teeters on the edge of collapse. Every heartbeat feels like a ticking clock, each moment closer to the revelation that could either save them or break what little remains. As Amanda's eyes flick over her family, she knows nothing will be the same when the dust finally settles. Will they rise from this? Or will everything fall apart in silence? The answer lurks just around the corner, waiting to be uncovered. In the quiet hush of a summer evening, Amanda's mind drifts back. The distant hum of crickets, the scent of freshly cut grass mingling with the sweet tang of lemonade. She holds a worn photo, her kids' faces bathed in golden sunset, a moment of pure safety. Emma's giggle echoes softly, and Jack's sketches spread out on the kitchen table. These memories anchor her, fueling her resilience. Tears blur her vision, but they're not just tears. They're the weight of sacrifices made, unspoken, yet felt deeply. She vows to shield her children from the chaos swirling outside her door, even as the storm rages within her heart. Now, the evening's calm is shattered. A faint knock, heart pounding. Who's at that door? Is it her past coming back to haunt her, or a new chapter waiting to unfold? The shadows lengthen, whispering secrets she's no longer sure she can hide from. Inside, her home feels fragile, on the brink. Stephen's confident grin hides something darker behind his eyes. Melissa's fidgeting, nervous. Ethan's giggles, once innocent, now swallowed by silence. Amanda's hand trembles on the verge of history. Her voice, thick with unspoken fears, wonders, is this the storm she's dreaded? Can chaos be a catalyst for change, or will it break everything she's fought for? Each heartbeat, like a ticking clock, brings her closer to truths that could either save her family or shatter what little peace remains. As she scans her children's faces, she realizes nothing will be the same when the dust finally settles. The question lingers, will they rise from this or fall into silence? Just around the corner, the next moment awaits to reveal what's truly at stake. Amanda's hands tighten around her coffee mug as she stands in the quiet kitchen. The rain outside taps rhythmically on the windows. A cold wind rattles the glass, and the flickering shadows cast by passing trees dance on the wall. Out of nowhere, a shadow darts past the frosted glass, a fleeting glance that makes her heart skip. Her breath quickens. She senses something's wrong. But what? The house feels different tonight, like it's holding its breath. Jack sits close, eyes wide with a silent question, while Emma fidgets nervously, her small hands tight on her jeans. There's a strange pulse in the air, an anticipation that she can't quite place. Just as Amanda checks her phone, vibration, silence, then a message flashes across the screen. Her stomach twists. A single word flickers. What could it mean? What hidden truth is about to be revealed? And how far will she go to protect her family from what's coming next? The shadows seem to whisper secrets, and Amanda stands at the crossroads of everything she's fought for. The next moment could change everything, or shatter it completely. The library's quiet buzz wraps around Amanda like a soft blanket, protecting her from the storm that's been brewing. The scent of old books mingles with the faint aroma of coffee from nearby cafes. An ordinary moment, yet these are the moments she fights hardest for. She remembers late afternoons here, Jack's sketchpad crackling open as he hums softly, sunlight flickering across Emma's wide eyes as she flips through picture books. Outside, the laughter from the playground seems worlds away, almost like a distant echo of a life she once dreamed of for her kids. Her mind drifts, each page a reminder of her resolve. How much can one woman carry? How long before the chaos threatens to swallow them whole? She tightens her grip on the moment, knowing this quiet resilience might be what saves them. But deep inside, she knows every peaceful second is a fragile gift, just waiting for the next shadow to fall. As the sun dips lower, she whispers softly to herself, willing herself to hold on, because giving up is never an option when love is on the line. Amanda sighed quietly, exhaustion weighing her shoulders as she scrolled through her phone. It was late. She could feel the house settling into its uneasy quiet. Suddenly, a buzz jolted her. She glanced down. Emma. Whispering hurriedly, her voice cracking with tears, Emma explained she missed band practice. Amanda's heart tightened. Behind her, faint footsteps and muffled voices hinted at Melissa's ongoing dismissiveness, the house echoing with unspoken tension. Then, a shift. Everything sharpens. Stephen, slouched in the hallway, leans closer, clutching a worn, faded photo of his childhood. He's been listening. Silent, invisible in the shadows. His face, usually confident and privileged, reveals a flicker of vulnerability, perhaps even regret. Amanda's struggles aren't just about bills and chaos. They hide deeper stories, unseen by others. What's beneath Stephen's guarded exterior? Could this quiet moment reveal a different truth? Or is it just another layer of family secrets teetering on the edge? Shadows whisper, secrets swirl. Families aren't always what they seem, and in that quiet, fragile space, maybe, just maybe, everyone's fighting battles that no one sees. The table's heavy with unspoken words, tension crackling in the air. Amanda glances around, her family gathered, but the divide feels wider than ever. Her mind races back to that difficult dinner, where her mother's words carved into her soul, subtly asserting that her kid's worth was rooted in genetics, in a line she couldn't access. Jack's face crumples briefly, trying to hide his hurt, like a mirror reflecting Amanda's own ache. Stephen, leaning back with that hair-trigger confidence, watches silently, his own secret battles wrapped tight. Amanda's hands tremble as she remembers the plan she's been whispering to herself. The small house just 10 minutes away, a chance for her children to breathe. But amidst the chaos, a question lingers. How much longer can she keep fighting before everything shatters? And will she finally stand tall? Or does darkness wait just beyond the fragile calm? Outside, the wind whispers its quiet threat, echoing her fears. Still, she holds on to hope. For her kids, for her own strength, because amid the noise, there's always a choice to fight or fall. And Amanda? She's determined never to fall. Amanda's fingertips brushed the cold marble of the countertop, and suddenly, her morning walk flooded her mind. The damp scent of autumn leaves rustling underfoot, the air crisp against her skin. She remembered her mother's hug that warmed her despite the chill, whispering promises of better days. Jack's old bicycle squeaked as he sped past, carefree, lost in his own world. Emma's giggle echoed from the backyard, a fragment of innocence, untainted by the chaos. In that fleeting moment, she felt a distant beacon of hope, a fragile light flickering through the storm. It's hard to hold on to that kind of peace, isn't it? When life throws everything at you, how do you keep the hope alive? Amanda's resolve tightened. She's fought through everything. Loneliness, betrayal, endless bills, just to shield her children from the worst. The storm outside rages on, but inside her heart, a different battle is fighting. The clash between giving up and holding on. She chooses to hold on, because sometimes love's the only thing that keeps the darkness at bay. And in that choice, she finds her strength, her defiance, her hope, her fight to protect what matters most. The house was silent, except for the muffled sounds of traffic outside and Amanda's ragged breathing. Shadows stretched long across the cluttered living room, the last light slipping away fast. She stood frozen, clutching her phone like it was a lifeline, trembling from the weight of everything, her past, her fears, her failures. The faint buzz of the neighborhood hummed in her ears, but inside, her heartbeat thundered so loud it drowned everything out. Then, a strange noise, like a faint scrape from below, pauses the moment. Her eyes widen. Her stomach knots. For a second, she hesitates. Who's really been lying all along? What secrets do the floorboards hide? Her mind races. Credit cards unpaid, a hidden stash, a family betrayal she never saw coming. Does she dare go down? Or is the truth lurking deeper and darker than she ever imagined? She's about to find out. But will she face it? Or run from the shadows threatening to consume her? Amanda's heart thudded as she stepped onto the porch, rain still lingering in the cool air. Her breath caught. Everything looked different. The house was eerily quiet, shadows stretching across the porch like silent witnesses. Inside, the faint scent of coffee and something unspoken hung in the air. She hesitated before pushing open the door. The house was colder than usual. Her eyes immediately flicked to the living room. Jack and Emma sat huddled on the battered couch, their eyes red and puffy. They looked so small, so vulnerable, as if the weight of the world pressed down on their young shoulders. Her stomach clenched. But what she saw next stopped her cold. Her mother, Margaret, calmly sipping tea in the kitchen, as if the chaos wasn't spinning out of control just a room away. No apology, no explanation, just quiet composure. "Mom, what's going on?" Amanda's voice cut through the silence, sharp and tentative. Emma threw her arms around her, clutching her tightly, clutching at whatever stability they still had. Jack nodded miserably. Fear and confusion etched across his face. The words spilled out in a rush. Her mother had moved their belongings to the basement. Without warning, without reason. They said Jack and Emma don't deserve the good rooms. Her blood simmered. Why? What's happening? Amanda's voice was steady now, but inside, a storm was brewing. Her mother finally looked up, meeting her eyes. "It's just necessary," she said, voice flat. Amanda's mind raced. Was this just about space? Or something darker? Was this family betrayal ran deeper than she'd feared? She knew she had to stay calm, for her children. But beneath her calm exterior, a resolve was forming. If she was going to protect her family, she'd have to confront the truth, no matter how painful. Would she find the answers she sought? Or would the shadows in this house hide secrets she wasn't ready to face? Because sometimes family isn't what it seems. And the real battle is just beginning. Rain dripped off the eaves, the sky heavy with unsaid storms as Amanda stepped onto the porch. Her mind spun with 1,000 questions, but her heart already knew. Something was wrong. The house looked different tonight. Shadows stretched long and silent, like they were waiting for her to come home. Inside, a strange hush lingered, broken only by the faint smell of coffee and something bitter. Family secrets, maybe? Her throat tightened as she saw Jack and Emma on the worn couch, eyes red, shoulders hunched from a burden they shouldn't carry. She wanted to reach out, to comfort them, but her gaze froze on her mother, Margaret, seated in the kitchen, calm, unbothered, as if the chaos outside didn't exist. "Mom, what's going on?" Amanda asked, voice trembling but steady. Emma wrapped her arms around her, desperate for stability. Jack looked lost, fears flickering across his face. Then came the words that crashed into her like a cold wave. Her mother had moved their belongings to the basement. Nothing explained, no warning, no reason, just cold practicality wrapped in indifference. Jack and Emma were not worthy of the upstairs. Her mind raced. A mother's love, or a family betrayal she hadn't seen coming. Was this just about space, or was it something darker? The smell of rain and the rustling leaves outside seemed to fade as her resolve hardened. Why does family sometimes turn so cold? What shadows hide in the corners of this house? The answers were just out of reach. Yet Amanda knew one thing. She wouldn't walk away without fighting for her children, even if it meant facing truths she wasn't ready to confront. Would she unlock the secrets lurking downstairs? Or would the darkness conceal something that could shatter everything? Every beat of her heart pressed her forward, because sometimes the only way to find the truth is to stare into the deepest shadows, even if they threaten to swallow you whole. The house felt like a snapshot of a nightmare. Familiar walls, but somehow turned cold and unrecognizable. Amanda's eyes darted around, heart pounding. She'd always known her childhood home in Philly was a symbol of comfort, not chaos. But tonight, it was a battleground. 4 adults, eyes hardened and faces set, had made a decision. Without her kids. No remorse, no explanation. Just the uncomfortable silence in the air, like the house itself was judging her. She saw Jack and Emma sitting on the worn couch, tiny but filled with hope, trusting her to fix this mess. That hope, her anchor, crystallized something inside her. She forced a calm smile, voice steady but fierce. "Pack your bags," she said softly. No yelling, no pleading, just a quiet command that held the weight of everything she'd fought for. They looked confused, uncertain, but she wasn't asking. She was insisting. "Trust me, grab what's important. We'll come back for the rest tomorrow." Her father, watching from the corner, sneered. "Stop being so dramatic. No one's asking you to leave." She met his eyes. "No, Dad. You made it clear where we stand now. We deserve better." The words cracked through the room like thunder, sparking chaos. Jack and Emma hurried upstairs, clutching their backpacks. Outside, rain whispered on the windows, a reminder that storms are often quiet until they're not. Her mother entered, voice sharp. "What nonsense is this? You can't just leave because things aren't perfect." Stephen, Melissa, and Ethan gathered behind her, eyes flickering with curiosity and something darker. Envy, maybe. Amanda took a deep breath. "This isn't about quitting. It's about respect. We've tolerated enough. 2 years of living in someone else's shadow." Her voice echoed in the tense silence. "We've given a roof, but this house isn't home if love and kindness are the casualties." So, why does it feel like everything's about to come crashing down? How much longer can she stand on the edge of this abyss? The house's shadows seem to stretch farther than ever, hiding secrets that could change everything, including her children's futures. She wonders, will she find the strength to confront what's lurking in the darkness? Or will the weight of betrayal pull her under? One way or another, she knows this is just the beginning. A battle not just for a house, but for their place in a world that's always trying to decide who belongs and who doesn't. The basement door creaked open just as Amanda's voice trembled with frustration. The smell of dampness and disuse hung heavy in the air, mixing with the rain-slick scent drifting through cracked window panes. Shadows stretched long and distorted on the moldy walls, where Jack's favorite toy lay abandoned, half buried under debris that seemed to crawl and shift in the dim light. The silence was thick, like you could cut it with a knife. Amanda's breath caught, her heart pounding so loud she wondered if the shadows could hear her. Then, faintly, a whisper drifted up from below, almost like Jack's voice, faint, trembling, desperate. Or was it just the house playing tricks? The question hung in the air. Will Amanda find her son before it's too late? Or something darker lurking, something she can't see but can feel pressing against her? The tension coils tighter, seconds stretching like rubber bands about to snap. Every shadow seems alive, waiting for her to make a move. Her hand clutching the railing tightens. She whispers under her breath, "Jack, where are you?" But the only reply is the whispering wind outside, sounding like leaf rustle and rain patter, a symphony of storms both outside and within. She knows she can't afford to hesitate. The shadows on the wall taunt her with secrets. Her resolve hardens. Somehow, she must find him, before the house's darkness swallows her whole. But what will she face in the depths? Is the whisper coming from Jack, or something else entirely? Amanda remembers the first time her mother's lavender oil filled the kitchen, an aroma that wrapped around her like a warm blanket. It's strange how scents can suspend time, isn't it? That day, laughter echoed over cereal bowls, little faces glowing with innocence. Now, the silence after her divorce papers feels colder, like an ice storm creeping in. She's standing by the stove, a chipped mug trembling in her hand, feeling the weight of her world crashing down. She wonders, can love still anchor me? The chaos outside threatens to drown her, but inside, a flicker of resolve ignites. Because even with every battle, the betrayal, the financial struggle, the endless balancing act, her love for her kids is the one thing unbreakable. That scent of lavender isn't just memory, it's a promise. Love, she realizes, is what keeps her standing when everything else falls apart. And somehow, that's enough. The car's engine hums softly as Amanda pulls away, her hands trembling but steady. Behind her, the house fades into shadows, but from the back seat, a flicker of familiar laughter echoes, soft, almost secretive. Jack's wide eyes dart around, spotting Emma clutching a worn, faded notebook she's hidden all along. That small thing, hidden in the chaos, holds a secret that could unravel everything. Suddenly, the truth hits her like a punch to the gut. Emma isn't just a quiet girl caught in family storms, she's been fighting her own silent battles. She's the one orchestrating the chaos, seeking her own voice amid all the shouting. Her desperation is quiet but fierce, her rebellion hidden behind that innocent smile. The narrative shifts. Who's really the hero here? Who's nurturing and who's betraying? Is Emma a victim or a survivor? As Amanda drives into the night, the questions linger, heavy and unanswered. This family story isn't just about pain. It's about the fight for freedom, for love, for hope, hidden in the shadows of their fractured world. What's truly at stake? And who will find the light first? Amanda hesitated at the door, the weight of the moment pressing down. She glanced at the house that once meant stability but now felt like a battleground. Her hands trembled as she pointed inside, voice steady but heavy. "You're doing it now," she whispered softly, "and that's what matters." That night, as Jack and Emma slept in the unfamiliar guest room, a swirl of emotions crashed over her. Sadness, anger, anxiety. But nestled beneath those waves was something rarer, peace. For the first time in years, she'd stood her ground, protecting her kids without doubt or hesitation. Tomorrow loomed, a challenge, retrieving their belongings, facing old wounds, confronting emotional manipulation. But tonight, watching Jack's chest rise and fall, Emma's quiet smile, she knew. They were finally breaking free. The next morning, she picked up the phone, asking for that day off. Nancy offered assistance, but Amanda declined. Her kids needed this journey, showing they were in it together. She arrived at her parents' house, the familiar setting now laced with tension. Her father's scowl softened at the sight of the twins, but his words cut deep. "Come to apologize for your tantrum?" he asked. Amanda's voice was calm. "No, we've come to get our things." His face hardened again. "Your mother's been upset all night." She nodded, understanding the mourning behind his anger. Despite everything, she didn't want to hurt her parents, just protect her kids. Her mother sat in the living room, eyes rimmed red, the chaos of recent days evident. "Stephen and Melissa aren't here," she said quietly. Amanda frowned. "Where are they?" "They took Ethan to the park. Thought it'd be less stressful," her mother replied, echoing the silent sacrifice, their subtle effort to keep the peace. As Amanda moved through the house, she felt it, the unspoken stories, the buried truths. Somewhere beneath all the pain was a family fighting to heal, and maybe, just maybe, the real hero in this story wasn't the one she'd expected. On a quiet summer evening, Amanda's mind drifts back. The scent of burnt toast lingers. She hears the clatter of dishes, faint, distant, her parents' voices crackling, rising in anger in the living room. The flicker of the fireplace struggles against shadows that seem to dance on the wall, like feelings that won't settle. Her tiny hand grips a familiar blanket tighter. Muffled sobs seep through the door, silent promises echoing deep inside her. It's chaos, yet amidst it, a flicker of resolve. In that moment, she's already deciding. Resilience, love, safety. Even now, her heart whispers, "This chaos won't defeat us." Fast forward, it's her, the responsible, resilient Amanda, standing tall. She faces her weariness to carve out a new path, not for herself, but for her kids. Jack, sensitive and creative, needing stability. Emma, curious and eager, craving inclusion. Stephen, privileged and confident, caught between success and envy. As the story unfolds, Amanda's determination paints her as the real hero, a woman fighting through family betrayals, financial hardships, and social divides to break free, proving that true strength isn't born from the absence of struggle, but from rising after it. Now she stands at the threshold of change, knowing tonight is the start. The storm might still rage, but the heart inside her beats with hope. Her kids deserve that much. And maybe, just maybe, this family has a shot at healing. The evening sky darkens. The air hums with tension, heavy with unspoken words. Amanda stands in the doorway, bags packed, her resolve sharpened by months of sleepless nights and hard-earned lessons. Inside, echoes of childhood memories, faint laughter, distant arguments, flicker like distant storms. Her heart pounds, every breath thick with the weight of sacrifice. As her parents watch in silence, she feels the invisible line between familiarity and freedom stretch taut. Just then, a message from Stephen flashes on her screen. Dark, cryptic, threatening. The room feels colder. Shadows flicker across her face, flickering like a fragile candle fighting to stay alive. Will she muster the courage to step into the unknown? Or will fear drown her in the chaos she's fought so hard to escape? She takes one last breath. The night is still young, but her future, that's waiting, just beyond the horizon. And she knows, no matter what comes next, she's already begun to fight for everything she loves. She closed her eyes for a moment, remembering how she'd stood in that quiet, unfamiliar living room, and how much her heart had trembled. The air still smelled faintly of fresh paint and pizza, small victories in a life once overshadowed by chaos. She'd fought hard to get to this moment, to carve out a space where her children could breathe, where they could be free from the shadows of betrayal and broken promises. Her hand lingered over the window, the cool glass grounding her. Outside, the leaf rustle and distant rain scent whispered resilience, reminders that storms, no matter how fierce, pass. Jack had looked at her earlier, eyes full of unspoken worries, and she'd seen the same steady fire she held, determination to build something better. Emma's curious gaze, craving belonging, mirrored her own hope. And Stephen? The privileged, confident brother. He might envy this new chapter, but she knew she was rewriting her story. No longer defined by his shadows. Her path now was about love, sacrifice, and rising above. Because sometimes the biggest battles are fought at home. Sometimes they're won here. Tonight, she knows, is just the start. The following Monday, my parents showed up unannounced at our new house. I had just returned from dropping the twins at school and was preparing to leave for my shift. "How did you find our address?" I asked as I reluctantly invited them in. "Your Aunt Susan told us," my father admitted. "She thought we should try to reconcile." I made them coffee watching as they surveyed our modest but comfortable new home. "It is smaller than I expected," my mother commented. "It is perfect for the three of us," I replied. "Amanda, we want you to come home," my father said, getting straight to the point. "This has gone on long enough." "This is our home now," I said firmly. "But the children need their grandparents," my mother insisted, "and their uncle and cousin. What they need is to be treated with respect and love," I countered. "When you can provide that consistently, you are welcome to be part of their lives." "We have always loved them," my mother protested. "Love is not just a feeling, Mom. It is how you treat people. It is the choices you make that show what you truly value." They stayed for nearly an hour, cycling through guilt trips, appeals to family unity, and finally grudging acknowledgement that perhaps they had been insensitive. "We did not realize how it looked from your perspective," my father conceded. "We just thought we were helping Stephen and Melissa through a difficult time." "And I understand that," I said. "But you helped them at the expense of my children's well-being and safety. That is something I cannot overlook. When they left, we had reached a tentative understanding they would respect our new living situation, and we would visit for Sunday dinner in 2 weeks. It was a small step, but it was something." Over the next several weeks, news of our departure spread through the extended family. Most were supportive, having witnessed the favoritism firsthand at various family gatherings. The house feels still, quiet. A faint scent of rain drifts through the open window. Down the hall, the twins' laughter echoes softly, happy, carefree, piercing the calm like a sudden gust. At the kitchen table, Aunt Susan sits, cookies forgotten as her eyes flick to Amanda, sliding the new job offer across the surface. The checkmark salary sparkles under the low-hanging light, a promise of stability, of hope. Outside, footsteps softly approach, the distant, faint rustle of leaves. Jack doodles storm clouds and lightning on a napkin, his brow furrowed with dreams too big for just a sheet of paper. Emma's small hand rests on Amanda's, warm and steady, sharing a quiet moment of relief amid the distant siren wail. On the porch, Stephen and Melissa hushed their voices, their shadows cast long against the fading gloam, family's invisible threads pulling tight. If Amanda takes the promotion, can she still be everything her children need, or will she lose herself in the process? The room falls into silence, the kind that presses softly and refuses to let go. Outside, the wind whispers secrets through the trees, carrying the scent of rain that's been threatening all evening. A faint rustle of leaves sounds like an unspoken message, stirring the air with anticipation. Amanda shifts, her hand trembling slightly as she gently places the photo album on the table. Her fingers linger for a moment, feeling the weight of everything she's fought through. Jack's eyes flicker with questions no child should have to ask. Emma's restless gaze darts toward the window, seeking answers in the dark. The glow of the sunset stretches long shadows across the room, casting an almost haunting light on their faces. Why does this silence feel so heavy, like a storm waiting to explode? Could one small revelation, the truth, finally shatter what's been delicate and fragile? Or is the silence holding something even darker, something that will redefine everything in an instant? Inside, Amanda's breath catches, and the heavy pause stretches. The unseen secrets threaten to unravel every thread of hope she's woven. Outside, the wind picks up, leaf rustle sharp and sudden, hinting at chaos just beneath the calm. In this quiet storm, a question hangs in the air. What comes next, when the truth is finally spoken? In the quiet of their modest living room, Amanda sat with her hands clasped tight, her eyes fixed on the faded family photo resting on the table. The weight of everything, divorce, betrayal, the constant juggle of work and motherhood, weighed heavily on her shoulders. Outside, the city's night sounds dimmed to a hush, as if holding its breath with her. She hesitated, fingers trembling over the final puzzle piece, torn between closing the chapter quietly or risking everything with one last move. Her face caught the flickering reflection of the street lamp through the window, determined, but shadows of doubt flickered behind her eyes. Jack looked up, sensing her unrest, a silent question hanging in the air. Emma's curious gaze darted between her mother and the unseen darkness beyond the glass. Just as Amanda opened her mouth to speak, a sudden, sharp noise, something outside, a cry or perhaps a shatter, pierced the silence. It was so unexpected. The screen cuts to black. What's lurking in the shadows? Was it fear, danger, or something more? The night holds its secrets close, waiting to reveal what's truly beneath the calm. What is hiding just beyond the glow of that window? And what choice will Amanda make once the truth finally slips free? The storm outside rages quietly, but inside, the quiet tension might be about to explode. The evening started like any other. Quiet, routine. Amanda sat on the couch, her hands clenched tight, staring at that faded family photo. The weight she carried, divorce aftermath, betrayal from those she loved, the endless balancing act of work and motherhood, pressed down harder than ever. Outside, the city's noise was barely a whisper, like life itself holding its breath for what comes next. She hesitated, fingers trembling over the decision to finally unlock the future she'd been chasing. Do I risk everything to make this work, or stay frozen in fear? Her reflection flickered in the window's dim light, eyes filled with strength, yet shadows lingered behind them. Jack shifted nearby, sensing her unrest, a quiet question hanging heavy. Emma's wide eyes darted back and forth, craving connection, craving belonging. Just as Amanda opened her mouth to say something, an abrupt, piercing thud echoed outside, followed by hurried footsteps crackling through the night. Her heart skipped. What just happened? Who's lurking in the darkness? The peaceful evening shattering in an instant. That noise, the unknown, could mean anything. A cry, a shattered glass, someone hiding just beyond sight. She peered into the shadows, breath hitching, trying to steady the pounding in her chest. The quiet hum of the night now feels ominous. Inside, her mind races. What's waiting outside? Danger? Hope? Or perhaps something darker still? The wind picks up, leaves rustle unsettlingly, whispering secrets. And in that suspended moment, a question hangs in the air. What will she do when the truth finally breaks free? Whether it's fear or courage that takes hold, everything could change in an instant. The storm outside is quiet now, but in here, the tension. It's electric, teetering on the edge. Just beyond that window, something's waiting. And Amanda? She knows, deep down, she's about to find out what really lurks in the shadows. As I stand in the empty living room of our new house, clutching the keys like a treasure, a rush of emotion swells in my chest. The scent of fresh paint still lingers, mingling with the summer breeze slipping through the windows. It's been a long road. 2 years ago, I was drowning in debt, juggling court dates, betrayal, and the chaos of motherhood alone. Who knew that a single step, buying this house, could feel like reclaiming my life? I wonder if my kids even realize what this means, or if they see only the walls and yard that now belong to us. That night, we laugh, unpack, and celebrate in the glow of string lights and good company. But beneath the surface, shadows hide. A quiet voice in my head asks, will this be enough? Can I keep it together when everything feels like it's falling apart? And just as I start to believe maybe I'm finally getting ahead, it happens. A thunderous sound from the basement, something heavy, something unexpected, breaks the silence like a gunshot. My heart skips. I freeze, listening. Descending cautiously, I find Jack, tiny, trembling, clutching the old family heirloom. His hands shake as he holds it high like he's claiming victory. My stomach tightens. All the pain and hope I've fought for threaten to crumble in an instant. This isn't just about a house anymore. It's about uncovering truths buried deep in our past, a secret I never knew was hiding under our own roof. And suddenly, the story I thought I knew, it's just beginning. As the sun dips below the horizon, casting a warm, amber glow across the house, Amanda stands by the window. The soft hum of the neighborhood blends with the scent of blooming flowers outside, a gentle reminder of how far they've come. She watches her children sleep peacefully, their faces tranquil, unaware of the battles they've fought and won. Behind her eyes, memories swirl. Betrayal, hardship, heartbreak. But tonight, all that melts into a quiet victory. That ache of past struggles, now just a faint echo, fades into a sense of purpose. She's built something real, a haven, No, it's not perfect. Nothing ever is. But it is theirs. Their love, their resilience. The tears that slip down her cheek aren't from despair, but relief. Relief that she's finally creating a life filled with stability, hope, and endless possibility. Here, in this moment, she knows they are finally home.